everybody? I'm Jack Patterson, and welcome to Week 8 of the PrepZone Football Preview. That's David Mitchell from the Ledger-Inquirer, Prep Sports Writer, and our Sports Director Dayne Young. He is covering the Auburn, Kentucky game in Lexington. We're taping this Wednesday night, so in order for him to get some sleep and be safe on the roads, we gave him the night off from doing this. But Dayne's World will be back, and that'll be later in the show.
Let's be honest, he's just falling asleep on the job. He just doesn't, he's just taking a nap, doesn't want to talk football with us.
He is probably asleep right about now.
I would be too. You got to get up early.
7-hour drive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wouldn't be looking forward to it.
No, let's get down to business. Region 1 5A, last week, Columbus losing to Shaw has created an absolute chaotic scene in that region.
I think I tweeted out after that game, every time you think you've got this region figured, throw a wrench in it. Something happens, and we lose everything.
I'm taken back to a quote from the late, great Hot Rod, Roddy Piper. Just when you think you know all the answers, I change up the questions. So Columbus looking to bounce back from that loss against Shaw. They'll take on Harris County down at Connect Stadium Friday night. And really, we were just talking about this. This is kind of a do-or-die game for Columbus.
It's, about as close to do-or-die as you can get without being do-or-die, without dying at the end of the do-or-die. Columbus, they're as strong of a season as they've had. They're facing a bit of adversity right now. 1-2 in the region after that loss to Shaw. And, Harris County now, they're 1-1 in the region. So this is a chance for Harris County, which is probably a team that's going to be fighting for that 4 seed. Don't want to sell them short. I mean, they could do better than that, but they look
projected
like a team in that conversation for the 4 seed. So this is a chance to put some distance with one of the other main, maybe the other main contender. Shaw as well only has 1 loss. We'll talk about them later, but. So this is a big game. I mean, you can, if you're Columbus and you go down to 3 losses and Harris County's only got 1 in the region and the tiebreaker, you're in some trouble right there.
Puts you in a world of hurt.
So as we said, do or die.
And last week we were talking about Columbus being the 2 seed out of 1-5A.
Yeah.
Fast track to home field, and then Shaw comes out of nowhere, upsets Columbus. Yeah. And now we're looking at, right now Columbus is 5th in the standings.
This region has just been, it's like a ping pong match, it's just every time, one team puts itself in a good position or one team falls behind is in a bad situation.
They flip-flop.
And all it takes is 1 game. And I think Shaw knew that last week, and they've put themselves in a good situation. Now Columbus knows it, and they could flip the script just as easily. So
they could, and there's still a lot of time left in the season. We still have 4 more weeks in the state of Georgia before we hit playoffs.
Right.
So there's still a lot of time and a lot of region games left, to make a difference. But right now, Coach Marino's got to get the guys under control, saying, hey, we're still in this, and you can't let them get discouraged, because otherwise, this great start for Columbus could be for naught.
I mentioned it before we got started here. Columbus, it's just they had some injuries, some injuries have really hurt them, particularly Ty Uzel. And he has to, Coach Marino has to get these guys to remember what they did well early, how they were able to find a way to win some tough games. And like I said before we got started, they have wins over, or a win over LaGrange. They lost to Carver, but they've already faced Carver. So they're in a situation where they've already played 2 of the toughest teams in the region, and now some of these other teams have to face those tough teams. So, Columbus not in a good situation, but if it gets a win, everything kind of changes for them again. They can get right back into that playoff conversation.
I mean, it's still not out of the realm of possibility for them to be a 2 seed.
Right. And again, you know, this region just changes every week. What Columbus is going to have to do Friday is, you know, they're facing a really good rushing attack in Harris County. That, you know, we talked about Harris County early in the year, that they were going to struggle early and then start to get some things going as they progress, because they were such a young team. And here they go. They're the offense starting to do some things. Bubba Blackman, one of Dane's favorite Bubbas, along with Bubba Sparks and
Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson, I think.
But not Bubba Wallace.
But Bubba Blackman 4 touchdowns last week. I mean, he's putting himself on the map. So,
and let's keep in mind that Harris County is this close from being undefeated in the region right now. Northside barely came back to win that game.
Yeah, we could be talking about Harris County right there, up Carver and Harris County again. But you know, as it is, they have 1 loss, and now it's a chance for them to put themselves.
What I'm saying is, Columbus cannot sleep on Harris County. They really can't afford to sleep on anybody else, because at this point, their season's on the line pretty much every game they play.
Right, absolutely.
And well, you can say that for just about every team in 1-5A, but
hence region play. I mean, that's region play for you.
Yeah, that's 1-5A.
I think, speaking of 1-5A, I think we have another game to talk about in 1-5A?
Yes, we do. It's a Saturday night special, folks, and it is. It's gonna be this might be a slobber knocker.
Yeah. But look, I was at Carver's game last Saturday.
We're talking about Carver and Shaw, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, Carver and Shaw.
Yeah.
I was at Carver's game last Saturday. You talk about a football game. Look, I don't know if defense was being played. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe the offense
51-55 score. I don't think defense was played.
Maybe the offense is. I told somebody, I think it's more of a case of defense is not being played. I think it's a case of 2 quarterbacks, just LaPerry Perry and Jawon Pass, who had some nights.
The games of their lives.
Yeah, they had 2 good. I was really excited to come in and talk about Carver this week, because we talk, and we really give Carver a hard time for not, you know, fulfilling the potential in some games. Even though they'll win most of their games, they'll play some games where you're just like scratching your head, like, man, why is this close right now? That game, every reason to be close. LaGrange is a good football team, but I saw something out of Carver in that game finally that had kind of been missing. Jawon Pass, we know the potential there. He's a 5-star recruit for a reason. He's going to Louisville. He's committed to Louisville for a reason. We finally saw, I think, Saturday night what he can be as a quarterback. He completed, you know, every big pass, and we're talking big pass after big pass after big pass. Runs, he took the game over on the ground, through the air. Carver was behind by 28 points, and Jawon Pass took the game over. He had some help. His wide receivers did a great job. Don't get me wrong. I mean, those guys in the line, they all have to be credited for that performance. But Carver lives and dies by Jawon Pass, and Jawon Pass had a night and outdueled one of the best quarterbacks.
He had to have a night Saturday night. If there was ever a night for him to have a night, he had to have a Saturday.
One fewer big pass, and they would have lost the game. That's the kind of night it was. But every single time they had, and not just that. I mean, two-point conversions. Carver was so confident in him, and you know, so gutsy in that moment. They're behind 50-49 near the end of the game, and they go for 2 and look, they got a kicker now. It's not like they're going for 2 because they don't have a kicker. They've got a kicker now. They went for 2 because they wanted to win. They knew they could get it with Jawon Pass, and they did. And now's the next question: can they follow it up? And
they're facing a team that's coming off a
big win.
BJ Knight leading Shaw past Columbus, and I tell you at this point, nobody really saw, especially after the Northside loss. You know, a lot of people
think about it though. 3 points. I mean, 3 points away from being
undefeated
in the region,
and 3 points away from Northside having another loss in the region. This region's been that close this year.
Shaw has been a mystery because of not just because they've lost a couple of games I thought they would have won, or won a couple of games ultimately that I thought they may have lost, but the manner in which they've won or lost these games. They've had games where their defense has been phenomenal. They've had games where their defense hasn't been so good. 61 points.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, and the offense has been the same way. If they come out and they put a full game together, they can hang with Carver. Question is,
can they do that?
Do we get Jekyll or do we get Hyde?
Exactly.
So,
and I mean, do we get the offense that put up 49 points against American Center, or do we get the defense that allowed 65?
Right.
Do we get the offense that only put up 6 points against Hardaway, or do we get the defense that only gave up 3?
Right.
Those are the kinds of questions that we've had to ask about Shaw all year. And just when you think, Columbus, should have this pretty much taken care of, Shaw, for the most part, controlled that game.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's
as good as Columbus had been playing.
Right. We'll just see if for Carver. I always say if they play their best, they're the best team in the region. They're one of the best teams in the state.
Agreed.
We'll see if last week, and granted their defense gave up 50 points, but if they have come together like it kind of looked like to me, like they did in the second half of last week, then Carver is a solid favorite in this game.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think that both teams last week had one of those wins where it could jumpstart a season.
It could, absolutely.
Because, Carver's had a pretty good season. Undefeated in region play. They've won, I think, 4 straight now since the loss to Creekside. They've kind of gotten on a roll. But I think that could be a jump start for a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
And I think for Shaw, that could be a jump start, maybe that chemistry, getting that chemistry together. Mm-hmm. And I still love the matchups with Knight and Cam Paulding as wide receiver. That's a matchup nightmare for any DB.
Yeah. I think that the question with Carver for a while was, as strong as Jawon Pass is as a pocket passer, his timing, his chemistry with his wide receivers hadn't quite been there. Last week, I'll show you the video. I was just watching before we got started. They were on the same page the entire second half, and it showed. So that should be scary for a lot of
that should be frightening for any team in 1-5A. Right. It should be frightening for any team in 5A in the state.
You know what else is frightening? Dayne's
World. It's time. So Dayne,
I got the segues for
you've been on point tonight. So this is all Dayne has told me about what he's doing for Dayne's World. He said that he's going to drive up to Lexington, and at some point along that journey, he's going to stop and record Dayne's World and send it to me.
On the highway?
I guess he's going to pull over at a truck stop or something. So I have
nice.
That's the extent I know.
Probably some interesting people he could talk to.
That's the extent I know about Dayne's World, and I'm kind of frightened. But here it is, Dayne's World, from somewhere in between here and Kentucky.
Dayne's World coming to you from the Tennessee and Kentucky line after Kentucky lost to Auburn on Thursday night. Check out that kind of scenery. So what I'm looking forward to in high school football tonight, actually, we've got Smith Station. A win gets them into the playoffs. I think that they can get all the way up to the number 2 seed, maybe if they go and beat Auburn a little bit later on. So Smith Station, a big game versus Enterprise. That'll be fun. Also, Columbus. Man, we've been giving y'all credit all year long, and now your playoff picture is looking like a little crazy. So what we need is to Columbus to get things together. Good thing about this time of year, just like the leaves on the trees in Tennessee, everything's a-changing in that playoff picture.
All right, so let's talk tailgate. Friday Night Tailgate Game of the week, and it is a huge Region 2 7A matchup between the Enterprise Wildcats coming off the upset of the year against Prattville last week.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
If you saw that
in the region,
if you saw that coming, you're lying.
They're one in the Enterprise, 1-3 now. They were 0-3 going into that game. Suddenly, you know, they at least, you know, look like a team that can beat good teams. If
they beat
else.
Prattville.
That's what I'm saying. They look like a team that can beat good teams. So that should put Smith Station on notice.
I was just going to say, that is the challenge awaiting the Smith Station Panthers down at TC Brenton Field Friday night. And coming off an impressive win, their own a thriller, which at Jeff Davis at the Crampton Bowl last week. And I think that was really just like a true coming out party for Dalton Singfield and that offense.
The entire team to me, because last year we talked about it before. 5-1, 4 straight losses to end the season. This year, Smith Station started out 4-0. They got that loss. They won again, 5-1, and you know they lost to Central to get their second loss, but now they've kind of gotten off that track of, you know, really go against the same stories last year. That beat Jeff Davis. Now they're in good shape. Not in perfect shape.
They haven't
not in perfect shape. There's still plenty of action that can take place in this region, but in good shape to make it happen.
So we have 2 weeks left in the region schedule, 3 weeks total. And the way that it shakes out, Smith Station controls its own, well, I won't say they control their own destiny, but it is very feasible for them to win to get TC.
They at least control it to a playoff berth.
Yes.
They control it to the number 3 seed.
Yes.
If they win out, they will worse be the 3 seed. With a little help from all the teams playing, they could get to the number 2 seed. You know, you can't get all the seasons up
Hope like it too.
Yeah, no surprise there. So Smith Station has a lot to play for this week, and like we said, Enterprise suddenly a challenge, more so than maybe we thought coming into last week. But Smith Station's offense has really kind of started to get into a groove. The running game, the passing game, Dalton Sinkfield's doing a great job under center in both, orchestrating that offense, making the reads, making the right adjustments. They're doing a great job on that side of the ball, and if that can continue, they look like a team that could win out. Is what it is.
Like I said, it's very feasible, and like going back to your point earlier, it's great to see. I don't know what that was.
It's a bug. We got bugs in here, folks.
That's not good. That's not good at all. But it's great to see.
Way to keep your cool, though.
Yeah, and Jeswalt's calling me. But
he just wants to be on the Prep Zone.
Yeah, he just wants to be on the Prep Zone show. Let's answer.
Let's put him on the Prep Zone.
Hey, Bob Jeswalt, you are on live with David Mitchell and Jack Patterson on the Prep Zone football preview.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, so big game coming up. Will be live at Smith Station this Friday.
That's the game we're just talking about right now.
Speak of the devil. We're talking about Smith Station right now.
You guys have to fill me in. Hey, I'm in a meeting, which makes it even cool because we're live. I don't know if you could say this live, but I don't think it really matters. But do you know what our WRBL guest passport is?
We're going to take a quick break.
I'm going to text that to you, Bob.
Yeah, why do you do that?
Because I don't think we're supposed to give that out over the air.
Yeah, that would be good. But anyway, that's what I need. But hey, guys, I look forward to seeing it. We're going to have a good matchup out there. Weather looks great, by the way. Real quick wrap up. There's front moving it, but it's going to be warm at the game. So expect a very warm Friday night football. Readings possibly low to maybe some years close to mid-80s. Probably about 84 we'll go with right now over Smith Station Friday night. And the front advances Saturday. It'll be coming through Saturday morning. It'll be dry, no rain. And temperature Saturday will probably only get, if we're lucky, about 72 for high. So it'll be a cooler day. And temperatures overnight lows will be in the mid to upper 40s.
Sounds like football weather.
You got it. So feeling like fall. I'll let you text it to me. And you guys, thanks for letting me play along with your live
No problem, Jeswell. I'll text that to you.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. I was a little worried we weren't going to get a Bob Jeswald appearance this week.
That's not the way I envisioned it, though.
But we got him.
So you talk about Smith Station while I send this text.
Well, we just talked about Smith Station, their offense. Their defense has played well. A win in this game would be huge for them. We've got a history between these two teams too. They played some great games a couple of years ago. So
I remember that.
Maybe we'll be. I'm sure Smith Station would like it to not be as exciting this year.
Yeah, just go ahead, finish it off.
Nice, easy win.
Focus on the last week of the season when they have the Auburn Tigers.
Yep.
And that's gonna be another good one in itself. Smith Station and Enterprise, that is our Friday night tailgate game of the week down from TC Brennan Field in Smith Station. We will be live at 5 and 6 on the first and evening edition. First Alert meteorologist Carmen Rose and sports anchor Natalie Pellicetti will be live giving us a preview and, just whooping it up, having a good time from the tailgate. Where are you going to be at this week?
I'm going to be at Central and Jeff Davis.
All right.
We had originally thought that Central might be playing for a region championship this week. As it turns out, Enterprise did them a favor. So
yeah.
Go ahead
and hang out with the region champion. I'll be doing my double down 280 again. I'll be in Eufaula in Greenville and Russell County for Park Crossing in Russell County. Big time commit from Park Crossing will be playing in that game. Decommitted from South Carolina with the Spurrier news.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that'll be watching him coming up against Russell County, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few Auburn scouts there as well.
Yeah.
So and also scores and more at WRBL Sports. Follow us on Twitter at LE Prep Sports at Jad Patterson. Dayne Young is at Dayne Young, and highlights on the Prep Zone 11:15, 10:15 Central on News 3. And I think that's just gonna about do it for us.
Probably should.
Yeah.
Sing us out, Jack. Sing us a song.
No, I'm not singing us out. Why? I can't sing.
He's not going to sing. We'll just wave. Bye, folks. Go watch some football on Friday.
Watch games on Friday. I'll see y'all for week 9 of the Prep Zone football preview. I can't think of a song to sing.
It's just the two of us.
It's not the two of us anymore. The show's over. Go to Blood. Just go to Blood.